Hey everybody, Alonzo here with Gulf Coast Smoke. Before we get into today's video, I want to say sorry for no video last week. It's completely on us, but we were really busy. Not that you necessarily care, but Monday I had to go shopping with my buddy for his wedding on Saturday. Tuesday I had my first bowling league meeting. I joined a bowling league. No idea how it's gonna go, but we're gonna go every Tuesday. Wednesday it rained really hard. We couldn't film. Thursday I started smoking 3 briskets for Friday. Friday, I finished off the 3 briskets, 6 racks of ribs, a bunch of chicken and sausage. Then went to my friend's rehearsal dinner, sliced everything up, fed everybody out there. Saturday, I had my friend's wedding, and yesterday was just a lazy day. We finally got a little bit of time to relax. So, my bad, no video last week, but we're making it up with a good one this week. Well, at least I think so. And we're comparing steaks today. You heard that right. We're not comparing steak seasonings, we're comparing steaks. So every single time I go to the grocery store or to the butcher, I for sure am always looking for that prime or that Wagyu steak because that's the best, right? Well, we'll find out today. I'm going to take a select steak and I'm going to take a prime steak. We're going to show you the price difference. We'll show you the marbling difference. Then I'm going to put on a blindfold and we're gonna taste these back to back and see if we can notice a difference. When you think of prime steaks, you think of that intermuscular marbling, you think of a richer flavor, you think of something that's gonna be a little bit juicier, more tender, and that's what you're paying for. With Select, there's not as much intermuscular marbling, and that's why you get, most of the time, a little bit of a drier steak and a little bit tougher sometimes. That being said, I want you to come on in. We'll show you the 2 steaks that we're cooking today. And then we're gonna cook them on my Weber kettle the same exact way, bring them inside, let them rest for about 10 minutes, taste them, and then we'll talk about the difference. And obviously, I'll let you know if I think that prime's worth it or not worth it. So again, just me telling you and talking to you about it, I would say prime's worth it all day. But doing it blindfolded, I'm not sure if that's gonna change. I'm a little bit nervous and I'm really excited to see if there's a huge difference between the Select and the Prime. Come on in, let's take a look at these steaks. Like I said a second ago, we're talking about a Select Ribeye and a Prime Ribeye. The first thing I want you guys to notice is the price difference. So here on the Select, it's $12.49 and it's right at 1 pound. Here for the Prime, it's $17.66 and it's right at 0.93 pounds. I tried to get them as close as I possibly could together. The Prime is $18.99 a pound and the Select is $12.49 a pound. So obviously over here, the price isn't huge difference, but if you guys are on a budget, you might just tend to go toward the Select just because it is a little bit less expensive. Okay, now I got the steaks out of the packaging, and what I want you to notice is the marbling on these 2 steaks. So when people are talking about the marbling on a steak, you're not talking about this hard white fat here that's on the outside or that actually separates these muscles within the ribeye. We're talking about the intermuscular marbling. You could see here, there's not too much on this Select ribeye. And that's why you talk about it being a little bit drier and not as flavorful. If you look at the Prime ribeye here, we still have those same pieces of fat that are separating the muscles on this ribeye. But if you look at the intermuscular marbling here, there's a ton more compared to this Select, and that's where you're gonna get that beautiful flavor from, and that's where you're gonna get a much juicier bite. Okay, so now I'm gonna season these 2 steaks up with Southern Belle and Southern Hospitality. You guys probably already knew that because we're working with a beef dish, and that's my favorite combo of all time. We're gonna go outside to get the Weber kettle nice and hot. We're gonna use a 2-zone fire today, and I'm probably gonna cook these reverse seared. And that means that I'm gonna start them indirect, let them get to about 110 degrees internal, and then put them on the direct heat and sear them on both sides until it's 125 degrees. That's gonna give me a nice medium rare steak, and that's the way we like to eat it at our house. I'm gonna show a little bit of B-roll just of me seasoning and getting the fire ready, but when it gets time to cooking, I'm gonna come back, talk to you guys a little bit about why I'm doing what I'm doing. Then of course, the best time of every single video, it's time to eat. we talked a little bit ago about 2-zone fire. And what I mean by that is there's literally 2 zones in my Weber kettle. There's a direct zone and an indirect zone. Direct zone obviously is where it's hottest. That's where the coals are. Indirect, there is no coals here. There's a voided space where it's still hot, but it's not over the direct coals. We'll start the steaks right here on the indirect zone, and then we'll finish them over the direct zone in order to get a nice sear. And that gives us a little bit better of a cook, and you won't see as much of the gray areas on both sides of the steaks, and that's really all that it is. That doesn't bother me too much either way, but we are going to go with a reverse sear today. Grate on. We'll put our lid on. Don't forget, we're putting the steaks on the indirect zone. I have the vents that are going to be right over the steaks, and the reason I like to do that is because all the smoke will run out over the meat and out the vent. So I'm going to go grab these steaks, we're going to put them on, then we're just going to wait about 10 minutes, check the internal temps, and once they hit 110 degrees internal, we'll sear them off. And that's not going to take long at all. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and now these steaks are at about 108, 110 degrees internal, which is perfect. So I have a slow and sear spinning grate here. I'll spin these over the hot coals until they reach 125 degrees internal. And that's perfect because it's so hot in there, especially over those coals. These steaks are gonna keep cooking for a few minutes after I pull them off. They'll reach about 130 and 132 degrees internal, which is perfect. And the most important step, you gotta let these steaks rest 5-8 minutes. And that's hugely important because when you're cooking these steaks, they're getting so tight over those hot coals. You need to let them relax, let the juices redistribute back into the ribeye, and that's going to give you the juiciest possible bite. Anyway, let's go ahead and finish these off, take them inside, and then finally it's time to put on the blindfold, see if we can tell the difference between Select and Prime steaks, talk about if the price difference is worth it. Steaks cooked to perfection. They look so good. Now it's time to put on the blindfold and see if we can figure out which one's Prime, which one's Select. So don't judge. Number one, I can hardly see without my glasses on anyway. And this is my daughter's for when she goes to sleep. So I'm gonna rock this real quick. Okay, and I cannot see anything now. So I'm gonna ask my wife to come up and pass me one of these steaks. I'll back up a little bit so I don't really get an idea of where she's at and which one she's getting. Tell me when you're ready.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Right hand.
Right hand? Okay. All right, steak number 1. Man, that's so good. This is gonna be tough. I think this is gonna be tough. Dang, that's very... Okay, all right, give me the second one now.
Go ahead.
All right.
Keep going.
Okay, right hand here. All right, second one. It's not tough. This is easy. This is Select. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was easy. That was so easy. All right, so I could instantly tell that this was Select. And the reason I could is because it was tougher by, I'm not exaggerating, 50 times. 50 times tougher. And that's because you can see we cooked these extremely well. I would say, obviously, very, very simple to say, go for the Prime. I mean, $12.49 compared to $17.66. I understand that's expensive for a steak, but I'm telling you, the flavor difference is out of this world. That Prime, You bite through it, it's like butter. You get savory, you get the delicious seasonings. It's tender, it's juicy. The Select, don't get me wrong, it's not terrible. I'll eat this all day, but I don't get all of that with it. It's tougher right off the bat. I don't get that savoriness from the intermuscular fat. My son's in the background screaming, "Mommy," if you guys can hear that. My bad, but the video is just about over. So this was a fun one, and I'm telling you, I've been excited about this all day, not only because I love to eat steak, but because I was curious myself. Like I said earlier, my wife and I, when we go to the store, we're picking Prime, we're picking Wagyu, we're not even looking at Selects. And that's just what we like to do. There's nothing wrong with Select if you guys like it, but I would say, based off of the prices that we saw today, the extra $4 is worth it. I'm not eating steaks every day. I know you guys are not eating steaks every day, so enjoy it if you can, and let me know how you liked this video. Right now is a perfect time to let you guys know if you do enjoy the channel, if you enjoyed this video, leave a thumbs up, obviously subscribe. As of right now, I think we have 23 subscribers to go to reach 2,000. Means a lot. You guys are awesome. As always, I really appreciate you guys tuning into this video. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.